Hey guys, I'm Mama Bear Benny and I have all this meat sitting here at the table. What are we going to do with it? I have huge plans. So we had a really long, fun, exciting 2 days of Thanksgiving with myself, and we invited a bunch of families and stuff over for a couple days, and then afterwards today is actually the second day, and we did Thanksgiving with my son. But we have so much to get done. I have like no freezer meals in the freezer, and I just need to get ahead of things because it drives me crazy not to have things in the freezer like situated so that I can just pull them out, especially when I'm going to have company. So I had company here this week, and then we're going to have company next week. I just can't wait to get this stuff all in the freezer. So what am I going to do? There is 140 pounds of ground meat here. So there's 100 pounds of hamburger. There's 40 pounds of pork. Remember those two videos that we did, the ground pork and the ground hamburger? Well, now we're making it into meals. And then I only have, this is all I have left, guys, all that I have left. I have 2, 4, 6, 7 chicken wings, and then all I have is whole chickens. All I have is whole chickens left. So I'm going to do something with these wings, and then we're going to do things with the meat. So I sectioned it out. This is the night before. People brought in this hamburger just a little bit earlier today. We ate supper, cleared off the table, and now I have it sectioned out so I can get going first thing in the morning. So each pile here is 20 pounds. So I have 16 pounds of 14 pounds of ground beef, 6 pounds of ground pork, and each of these like sleeves like this. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the plan for each of these is going to be, so 20 pounds for us equals about 4 meals. That's it. This would be like huge. If you guys had a small family and you did even a quarter of this right here, you guys would get tons of meals. So each 20 pounds is going to equal 4 meals. So I have one that's going to get all ground up for tacos, and we're going to do that for tacos. Another one's going to be done for chili. Another one's going to be done for Big Mac salad. I have a list because I totally forget. Talking to you guys and I'm forgetting what I'm doing. Okay, so I have taco, chili, meat for Big Mac salad, which has no seasoning except for salt and pepper in it. And then we're going to do cheeseburger casserole, and then another one that's just ground beef that could be used for different casseroles and that type of stuff. And then the other hamburger meat right here, we have the pork here and the hamburger here, and this whole section, excuse me, is going to go into 3 different bowls, and we're just going to mix this all up into low carb meatloaf, meatballs. It's just going to go, I'm going to have 8 meatloafs, and then the rest is going to be made into meatballs. So all this here is going to be meatloaf and meatballs. We eat 2 meatloafs at a meal, so that would be 4 meals for us. And then the meatballs will be about 4 meals as well for us. So we will do this all into meatloaf and meatballs. And then this, I'm actually going to wait for these to defrost. We're going to pull these apart, and then I'm going to take these and put these into baggies with seasonings already in them. So I just remembered my brain. This is how my brain works. I remembered this is not going to be ground pork. This is actually going to be mixed all together, and I'm going to make this section right here into hamburgers and then freeze them as hamburger patties. So if we wanted to do something on the grill or even in the house or whatever, we could do some patties and then some wings to go with that for a meal. So that is our plan. So we'll be back together tomorrow morning. Come with us. Okay guys, it's morning. We're going to start at this end of the table. I'm going to try to get as much as I can of this row right here into this roaster oven. So I want to get the ones in the roaster cooking while I'm doing the other stuff. So that is what I'm working on now. I have 2 roasters. So 2 of these are going to get filled with hamburger, and then I'll show you what I'm doing with the other hamburger. So today is, what is today? I'm all confused. Whenever I get a holiday, it always seems like it's confusing. Like, what is the day? So today is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and we had a great Thanksgiving. We had, let's see, on the first day of Thanksgiving, so these are the sausage ones. There's actually no seasoning in it, it's just ground pork. So the first day we had, let me see, we had 22 people here, but throughout various times. One was an older woman that I hadn't seen in a while, so that was great to see her. And then we had a family over, and they have a brand new set of twins, so of course everyone was like oodling the fact that we got to snuggle some twins. That was super special. And then the next day, my son and his wife came over. They were with her family for Thanksgiving. And sometimes we actually, when they first got married, or maybe before they got married, right before they got married, we actually did Thanksgiving all together. And that was a great time too. It just really depends on the year, what we're doing. My husband worked for Thanksgiving, but he was able to, he was in the area, so he was able to come and take his lunch break at home, which was super exciting. So that was nice that he got to take that home. There's been years that he's worked every holiday. He'll actually have Christmas off this year, which is nice. But they rotate through who gets what days off, which I'm sure many of you guys as husbands do the same. So it was a blessing that he was able to actually come and spend his lunch break here. So we cooked, let me think. For that first day, we cooked 2 turkeys and a ham. And then we had mashed potatoes. I think we did maybe 20 pounds of mashed potatoes. And then we did some scallop potatoes, which I think you guys saw if you watched that little short. The scallop potatoes were on there. And I made like a cream sauce in there. And then we made like a dish that was like a cream sauce, but I put it over some mixed veggies. It was the same cream sauce that I made with xanthan gum, butter, and cream and almond milk. And that came out really good. We added just some salt and pepper, and it really came out lovely. I'm hoping all this will fit in here. I think it actually will. I have 6 more packages. We shall see, but I think it should fit in here. Because once it cooks down, it gets smaller. Alrighty. So that was nice, and it was just what else? I'm trying to think what else we had. Hard to remember. I had 2 veggie platters. We did lots of pies. We were gifted some pies beforehand, like kind of day-old pies. We were gifted those, and then I made those keto desserts that I put up in a video. I made those. So there was a little bit of everything there. I did stuffing just from the box for people. I never know how many people we're going to have for Thanksgiving. Years ago, we started a tradition where we would let whoever like just come over for Thanksgiving. And it's been really fun. One year we had an older gentleman. He was 96, and he had been in World War I. And he was a young adult in World War II. And I never knew that there was not a concentration camp. Oh my goodness. What is the name of it? I will think of the name of it. It's like a prisoner of war camp, I think it's called. I think it's called prisoner of war camp. No. Yeah, maybe it is. And I never knew that there was one up the street from our house. And he was saying that he used to go to the prisoner of war camp at that time, and it was the only place around that had like television, and he would watch television because his buddy was a guard or something at the prisoner of war camp. So he's telling these tales. That was the same year that we had, my oldest son was in college, and we had him and some of his college buddies at our house, so he was telling the story with some of them. So what I'm going to, they like were so intrigued by him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on I'm going to put it on with a cup of water. Okay, so now I've filled both of these roasters. This only has 16 pounds of meat, and this has 20 pounds of meat. So I'm going to cook these down and get started with my next project. So now I have these 2 trays here, excuse me, and I think what I'm going to try to do is put 10 pounds in each of the trays and then put those in the wood stove oven, and then I'll start mixing up my stuff for the meatloafs and such and leave these for a little bit. So I have 2 wood stoves going today. One of those is not a cookwood stove and the other one is. So I'm going to be cooking on top of that one, a big pot, I believe. And then I'll probably be cooking on top of my big wood stove as well. And then the meatballs and such I'm going to make and cook inside of the house stove, just the regular propane stove. Maybe I should just 1, 2. So I need 3 sausage. So I already did 1 sausage, and then I'm gonna grab this, and that would leave 3 for that. Yes, that's correct. Okay. I want to have like in each pan equal amount of sausage, and not equal amounts of sausage, but I have for every 20 pounds, I have 6 pounds of pork. That's a good ratio that we like. Then it doesn't taste too porky. It tastes more like hamburger. And so we like to do it like that. But pork for us is cheaper to grow. So that's how I'm going to do it. I just have parchment in the bottom of these just to make it a little bit easier when trying to lift out. Should I be counting these? And paper. The other 4, I think I'm just going to put from the last roaster. Those are over there. And I think I'm going to put those on in just a small pot and cook that on top of the stove so it doesn't get confused with what everything else is. So I'll be back when these are complete. Okay, so I have these 2 that are going to be going in the oven in a minute. Then I put the 4 pounds that are left over that couldn't fit in the roaster in this one. And then I started a new one right here. So I only have, that's going to need to get ground, or browned, sorry, not ground. I only have 20 pounds left now that I've done all those. So in this pot, I'm going to put 3 things of pork. I'm going to try to fit 10 pounds in here. And this will cook on top of the wood stove. And then I'm doing 7 pounds, which I already have 2 in there. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 in that one. So that will be half of what needs to get done. And then what I'm going to do is grab this other pot here. I have slightly silly girls in the other room if you can't hear them. I'm going to move this one just for a minute. And throw this one over here. Yep, messy table, messy table. And now I'm going to try to fit the rest of the 10 pounds in this one. So again, the 3 porks. It is really cold outside today, so I have some kids outside now. They're doing some wood for about half an hour, but when it gets really cold here, we like to do it in shorter sessions with the kids and just have them go outside for half an hour instead of, I mean, sometimes they want to stay outside all day, but as far as like bringing wood in and that type of stuff. Can you girls quiet down a little bit, please?
Yes, Mom. Dad.
They're pretending to be pigs in the room, maybe 10 feet from me, so they're having fun. But gigglies happen a lot when there is really cold days, because some of the younger kids don't actually go outside unless I go out and bundle them up. Okay, so this is the other 10 pounds, and let's go put those on the stove. So here's the wood cook stove, and I'm going to throw these two in here. This one is really deep, so I can put these long trays on. It's called the Kitchen Queen. I know you've probably seen like the Pioneer made before, but this is through a different Amish company. Okay, so we're just going to put these big pots onto the top. This side of the stove is going to go really fast. This side would go really low, just like heating range. So this would be like having it on high heat, and over here would be like having it on a low heat. So I'm going to start it off as a high with it covered. So now we'll have, I'm actually going to put this on this one too. This is just the 4 pounds here. So now that we have all of this going on, this is actually all of our meat that needs to get ground for meals. So we are going to work on our next step, which is, I don't know if you've seen this. We have, can you see it? It's like Fort Knox in order to get into the wood stove, because I am very worried that somebody might burn themselves. I always see like these beautiful fireplaces and stuff, and people have families and it's like open to the kids, and I'm like, no. I actually had a child burn himself on the wood stove. It wasn't our fault. At that time we had a nurse in for my son, and we had gated off his bedroom, and so like as you went into his bedroom, you're supposed to shut and lock the gate. When you came out, you're shut and lock the gate. And the gentleman who was a nurse did not shut and lock the gate, and my son put his hand on the wood stove. He was only a little over 1. And since then, I'm like, no, I do not care. This is Fort Knox. We're not having gates. We are just keeping it safe. Thankfully, we went to the hospital. Like, we did all the things that you're supposed to do. Cold water, all that type of stuff. When he came home, we ended up using that boo-boo salve that I made, and his hand is completely normal. So, I'm so thankful, but I never want to go through that again. So both of my wood stoves literally have 2x4s attached to the walls themselves, and they are 3 feet high, so that he's 13 now. So we have Fort Knox for around every wood stove. So if you see these big things, that is why. And even beforehand, we were really cautious. We had like a gate to the door, but my cousin, she had burnt her hands really bad when she was little, enough that they were like deformed and needed like skin grafts. And so I'm a little picky about that type of stuff. All right, let's cook. Okay. I think what I'm going to do next, I got to go grab bowls and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm just going to cut the tops up for this. So we have 2 roasters filled, 20 pounds each. Well, one was 16, one was 20, and then the rest is on, and then 2 trays in the oven, each with 10 pounds. And then we have 3 pans on top of the stove, 2 with 10 pounds and 1 with 4 pounds. And now I'm cutting the tops off of all of these, and I'm going to make 2 bowls here of some hamburger mix, and then we will put these on trays. I'm not sure if there's any that are, some of these are still frozen here, so I might try to do like one that I'm going to do first and then one second. We'll just see how frozen they are. A lot of the ones that were on top are not frozen, and then a couple on the bottom are a little bit more frozen. So let's see. Alrighty, this one feels good, so I'm going to do 7 hamburgers in each bowl, and then 3 of the pork. So let's just do the 3 pork first. 1, 2, that one's frozen. 3. 1, 2, so that's actually 3 because I already had 1 in there. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, then I'm going to put the rest in the other bowl. Okay, so here we go. So there are a ton of different ways that I am going to talk about here about how you can stretch your meat and save a little bit of money. And then I'm going to talk about a little bit on how you can save money if you were doing keto and what I'm working towards thinking on. So as far as stretching your meat, if you have no dietary restrictions, you can stretch your meat by adding lentils to it, or really any beans. You could add ground up squash like pumpkin, or and you can do about 1/4 of the amount of meat. So if, say, you had, and the rest of these are frozen, I'm going to put these on the top. So say you had 1 pound of meat, that would mean you could do 1/4 a pound of whatever it is. You could use carrots, you could use beans, you could use rice. If you are doing rice and you have kind of picky eaters, I would put that in a food, I would cook it and I would put it in a food processor first, just so it's not like those little granulates or whatever you want to call of meat. Okay. So these are going to be for hamburger. I'm going to throw all this stuff away. So it would be cooked lentils, cooked squash. If you can, your own home cooked, like home canned squash and such. It would be about 3 pounds to 1 quart of home canned squash. So let's move these over here. And I'm going to do some here. I have 2 more bowls. So these 2 are going to be for hamburgers. That needs to defrost just a little bit more. And then I'm going to do these 2 bowls for meatloafs. So let's kind of chop these a little bit. No. I don't know what you guys can see. Maybe like that. I don't know. I'm not good at this whole camera thing. There you go. Okay. So what I plan on doing is for people, for us, people who are okay not having high carbs might have, I'll make a pot of rice and they might have rice with something. Or like if I'm making chili, I would make a base with beans in it, and then they would dump their chili on top of those beans, and then other people would have theirs. You could also, you could also do that on top of cauliflowered rice if you were low carb. And I think that I'm going to use quite a bit of cauliflowered rice. You guys are going to see I'm going to be making a casserole. It's a cheeseburger casserole, and it actually uses cauliflower in it, and that will help it stretch a little bit as well. But I don't want to stretch things too much because this is our main staple. And what I found is when we're eating just meat and vegetables, it takes a little while. It took us about 3 weeks of doing that to actually, and it's probably going to be regrouped again because we just had Thanksgiving and lots of people quote unquote cheated during Thanksgiving. But once you get into the groove of things, you really start to feel full and satisfied a lot sooner than you normally would. And it makes me think, like, how often do we eat because it tastes good versus how often do we eat because we want to be like we want to be full. And like, is full a point where you feel like you're gonna like explode, like I'm so full, or is full just like a contented feeling? And these are things that I never really thought out before. It was just like, okay, you guys can eat till you're full, but a lot of times the kids now, they're like, I'm full, and I'm like, huh, that's weird because you ate a lot less than you normally would. But I think it's because they're eating real foods. It's meat and it's veggies. So what I've been doing is I do meat and veggies for most meals. Like when it's separate, I'll do meat and veggies, and that would be your first serving would be the meat and veggies. And then after that, if you want to get seconds, if you would like a baked potato or whatever it is that we're having, it could be a baked potato, it could be rice or whatever that I'm having on the side. If you would like that, then you can go ahead and have that. It's just these ones I'm doing the same. I'm going to be putting 3 porks and 7 beefs in each of these. So, but it's really surprising, like we're eating such less, but we're eating really high quality foods, and a lot of people are craving, like, if I don't have a salad with a meal, they're like, can we have salad with this? And so it's nice. It's nice that they are actually wanting and craving real foods. Another thing is snacks. Before, the kids always used to want really sugary snacks. And we got rid of like all of those out of the house. Even like the keto desserts, we don't really make them. Sweet Pea does not really care for them, and she has not been wanting sweets really in general at all. And I think it's because her body's getting the nutrition that it needs. But snacks have changed, and it's kind of like, if they want a snack, it's like, would you like some nuts? And they're like, oh yeah, that sounds really good. Where before they'd be like, I don't want nuts, I want a cookie. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then that's 7 for there. Okay, I just had to like count it out, because if I am talking, and then I'll just keep dumping them in until the thing overflows. So it's really been kind of incredible as far as that goes. But I also wanted to tell you guys like how you can stretch meat, because we have totally been there in our lives, and that is what has worked for us. Tacos are pretty good if you do tacos with lentils in them. Any ground beef is really okay if you do even half to half with green lentils, if you're looking to stretch. Another thing is the way that we're doing this here. It's like if we're having tacos, there's like a huge salad underneath there. There's like a lot of lettuce underneath there. And it's just like, I don't know, like the fiber in the meat combo, I don't really know what it is, but it has been so filling for the kids. So I think that our food budget is going to stay the same. I thought that it was just going to like have to go so crazy because we're eating so much more meat. But I don't think that I'm going to find that as the case, because I think that it's just different. It looks totally different, but our bodies feel nourished. So in each of these bowls, there's 4 bowls right now. In each of these bowls, I have 3 sausage and 7 hamburger. So I'm just going to share with you. Let me see. Okay, maybe like that. So I'm going to wash my hands and get a spoon. Okay, so this bowl right here, can't see that one. This one right here has some frozen hamburger. I'm just going to set that off to the side. I'm going to focus on this bowl right here. I need to grab, let's see, some salt. And then I'm going to do some pepper. Oh, about the same, maybe 4 tablespoons, and that's like 10 pounds of meat. And then what I'm gonna do is take my cookie sheets here before I start doing everything else. I'm gonna take my cookie sheets and just spread them out here. Put that one down. And then I'm gonna throw some parchment on top of this. Oh, let me get this backwards. There we go. And I am going to be doing hamburger patties. We have a grill right on our porch, so I want to use that more actually throughout the season. So I've been reading a lot. These are tight gloves, goodness. I've been reading a lot about just different cultures and how, you know, when you like start reading something and then you get like on this rabbit trail of like a million and one other things. So anyway, this was one of the rabbit trails in my life, and I really talked about a lot of like other countries such as Sweden and Finland, and how they integrate outside into life, right? And so our children in the summertime, they're outside all the time. And then in wintertime, they're outside, like they go sledding. I mean, they're outside more than like probably 90% of Americans. But I was thinking to myself, like, it would be cool because they were talking, I saw different things where like they had campfires and stuff like outside in the middle of the winter, as long as people were bundled up appropriately, that it was really good for you. And so I'd like to try to maybe incorporate some of that. I know most people on here are probably like, "Brr, that's cold. Why would you want to do that?" But it has a lot of health benefits. And so I've been thinking about that. But anyway, I'm making hamburgers, and I thought that we could possibly like grill outside and then like hang out around a campfire or something. But hamburgers obviously can be cooked inside as well without an issue. Okay, so what I'm doing is, this is 10 pounds of meat. And this may seem trivial or silly, but I am going to measure out each of my hamburgers to be 1/4 pound, just so I make sure that I get all of my meat into as many patties as I am wanting for our family. So yeah. And then I'm just going to throw them on here. And I'm going to freeze them. I'm going to freeze them like this so that I can just throw them in a baggie. I can throw them in a baggie, and then I'll put 8 per bag, and then it will be 2 bags per meal for our family of 14. That would be 16. At this point, some of my children do not eat, the little ones don't eat a full hamburger. And then some people would eat 2 hamburgers. So it just really depends, but 16 seems to be a good number at this point. I also would use 16 hamburgers if I was gonna do like chicken wings. Like, not everyone in our family likes or cares for chicken wings. My husband does, he likes hot wings, but I'm just going to try and see. And I can put like the 2 of those together, and then people who maybe wanted more could have that. And then, I don't know, we can always use whatever leftovers for my husband's lunches. So I am going to fill these trays, each with 4-ounce hamburgers, and then I'll be back. Okay, so we got the 3 of these trays done. I still have this much left in the pot to make some more, and then this one is actually going to be hamburger as well. But these 3 are going to go into the freezer. Okay, so I started like an hour ago, and I'm just going to show you where we're at here. So, let me see. Alright, there we go. Let me show you. My daughter, who was in here, she took one of them off already, one of the pots off already, because that was done. Let me check this. Yeah, that one's done too. So that's done. And come over here. This one's done. Then I'm going to take this, just so you guys can see. This is how, sorry, it's hard to angle this. Let me see if I can angle it. Can you turn that down? So this is the hamburger that was in the oven here. I'm just going to put this over here as well. And then we will clear space. She's happy. She's so peachy. Are you going to eat your snack, Sunshine? Alright, and then we'll grab this other one. This one looks like this, and I'm going to like take my spoon and stir it around and put it back in. Somebody's ready for a nap. I know. You're so sleepy? Alrighty, so we're just gonna take this, and I'm gonna put this on the top one now because the top one actually cooks better. And then I'm gonna go out and mix up some meatballs. Now, meatloaf I think I'm doing first, and then I'll do the meatballs after. Okay guys, so what I have here is I have 2 bowls of my meat. So this is each 10 pounds. No, is this 10 pounds? Yes, each of these are 10 pounds of meat, and then I have 5 onions in each, and then I have 10 cloves of garlic in each of those. So to each of those I am going to add oops, I gotta move this one. My pig bucket there, so let's see. 10 eggs. It's right in the pig bucket. I moved the pig bucket for no reason because I'm going to put them right in there. All of our scraps go to the animal around here. Nothing is wasted. 3, 4. These are the same eggs that we got back at Sam's Club. And they'll probably be used up today. So those 2 big things of eggs last us 2 weeks. I think 2 more. I should have counted those out. That would have made more sense because now I started talking. I forgot how many eggs I put in. Okay, let's say 2 more. We'll just go with it. Okay. Now we'll do these. I'm putting 10 in the top here before I forget. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Just drop these in here real quick. We, my brain's like going dead. We had snack and now getting ready. Oh, I didn't want to crack right. Now getting lunch. I think we're just going to do tuna for lunch because I have some stuff that's done and other stuff that's not quite done. So, I'd rather just focus on what needs to happen. I have like one freezer meal left and it's a big roast. So I didn't want to throw anything in the oven for freezer meals. Okay, so here we go with this. I am now going to have my recipe over here. And that's going to be 1.25 cups of ketchup in each batch. And I don't have my cup measure. Oh, here I do. Here it is. So I got these sugar-free, no sugar added Heinz ketchup. Here, I'll show it to you actually. I got these, and these have only 1 carb per serving. The other ones are really high because the amount of sugar that's in your ketchup. So I'm doing 1.25 cups in each. Cup. And 1/4. It's quiet in here now, which is nice. I actually put a movie on for the kids. So they're in there. They came in from outside. They had a snack, and now they're watching a movie while I get these prepped. I want to get the meat that I have at the table at least into bowls so that I can wipe everything down, clean it all up so they can eat lunch at the table. So did I do the 1/4? Yeah, I did. I did the 1.25 cups there. Okay. So we have that, and then I'm going to do a 1.25 cups of almond milk. I'm just going to do 1 cup. Last time these came out a little moist for my liking. But I'm also using, they say to use keto breadcrumbs, and I'm going to be using pork rinds. So I'm just going to do 1 cup. Or just shy of 1 cup. And then I want to use the keto breadcrumbs is, let's see, 3/4 cup. So that's times, so that would be 1.5, 3 and 3/4 cups. 1, 2, 3, 3/4 cups. 1, so this is just, 2, dump the rest of that in there. This is just regular pork rinds ground up in a food processor. And that was a whole bag of, I'll show you the bag. It was a whole bag like this. I ground up this whole bag, so this is 12.25 ounces for 20 pounds of meat. I think that's it, and then salt and pepper. Yep, then salt and pepper. All right, let's grab the salt and pepper. We're going to do about 5 teaspoons of salt. And then half of that in pepper. There we go. Let's mix this up. Actually, you know what I'm going to do before I mix this up is I am going to set out my, move this knife all the way down. I'm going to set out my pans. These are aluminum pans. And I don't like aluminum. I'm looking for, there it is. I don't like aluminum pans. So what I do is, I'm going to do half a sheet. What I'm going to do is just line this, hopefully, so the food's not touching the aluminum. The best that I can. I'm just doing the best that I can. I know I'm weird. Some things I will do. I prefer not it to be aluminum. If I have to, then I'll be okay with it, but I like the lady that doesn't have the microwave. That is just gonna come out. These are all gonna come out, and that's okay. When I put the meat in, I'll just kind of finagle it around a little bit. I think I'm just gonna like lay it on top so I can just shove it down after. So this should make, actually I have 8 pans that I'm planned, but these are smaller pans than I usually use. So I'm gonna fill these 8, and then if I have extra, then I will get some more pans and do that. But I should be able to at least do the 8, right? Oh goodness, my brain. Anyway, let's go for 8. Most of the hamburger that I had in the oven and on top of the wood stove is done now. So once we get these prepped, we'll be able to make all those into the meals, which will be exciting. So the goal is prep these, get this other meat in these bowls, and then wipe everything up and just have a section of the table to be dirty so that kids can eat lunch, and then after lunch I can start making all the meals. All right, I'm going for 8. There we go. Okay, gloves. Oh, in my pocket. I get eczema on my hands, so I am going to wear gloves. So this is a keto meatloaf. I put 3 pounds of the sausage, and then the 7 pounds of the hamburger per bowl. I like actually when you mix different meats in with like meatballs or with meatloaf or whatever. It just gives it such a more deep flavor, I guess you want to say. So I like to mix it. And plus, pork is cheaper than hamburger. You could also use, I don't know if they sell ground pork. Yeah, they would sell ground pork. I mean, you could use sausage meat too, but then you could also do like ground turkey or whatever you want to do, but you can mix and match, mix and match. Yeah, that will work. Okay. I have 4 of these other pans, and so I usually only do 4, but we really enjoy meatloaf. And it's good because then it's something that my husband would have like to take to work as well, which is always a blessing because I'm always looking for things that I can put in his lunchbox that's easy for him to eat. I had to get pig food this morning. I didn't realize that We needed to pick it up yesterday. I thought that the place that we get it from was closed, and they were not closed, so we were able to go get it this morning. And then my daughter, for one of these recipes, I need some cauliflower, so I asked if she could get 10 heads of cauliflower, and I said you can use regular and you can use what am I trying to say? And you can use organic or whatever, like just mix and match it. Of course, she called. They didn't have 10 things of cauliflower. So then I said, well, can you go over to the frozen section? And she was like, okay. So she goes over there, and there's no organic cauliflower, and there's only 4 bags of cauliflower. This is how it is around here. This is why I love to keep a fully stocked pantry, so I have what I need when I need it, because it's so frustrating when I'm trying to buy things and you're unable to buy them. Oh, this is gonna do more. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, so I ended up getting 8 of the smaller ones and then 4 bigger ones here. So I'm gonna wrap these up and get them in the freezer. Okay, I am on hold like forever on this phone call, so I'm gonna wrap these while I'm on hold. So 2 of these will actually equal a meal for our household. I don't need to label them because I only do meatloaf and things like this. And I'm going to keep 2 of these for tonight. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meals for the freezer. And then 1 for tonight. All right. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking those 2 bowls. I'm taking those 2 bowls, and then I'm going to be mixing the hamburger and pork together, and then the rest of this is going to be meatballs. I'm going to go put these in the kitchen for supper. Alright, so let's grab these 2. When the kids come in the house, I'll have them take some of these out to the freezer. They are working on dumping pig food right at the moment. I love meatballs because you can make them in so many different types of things. You can do sweet and sour, or you can do regular spaghetti meatballs. There's so many different ways that you can eat them. And they're like such a small size, it's great for the kids. Alright, I'm going to finish this up, and then I hopefully will be off the phone by then and making those meatballs. Okay guys, my daughter offered to hold the phone for a minute while we're waiting on hold. So we are going to add to each of these 1 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Whoa, that was good. There's the 1/4. That's good. Alrighty. tablespoon of Italian seasoning, which I thought I had some, but I don't. So it actually would be 5 tablespoons. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some basil, oregano, and sage, and a little bit of paprika. Sage. I probably could have dug it out, but I'm trying to maybe make this before they get on the phone. I don't know. I want them to get on the phone, that's for sure. It's frustrating, but I think that they're having an issue. Okay, phone call done, but I did not get the table clear in time, so they're eating lunch in the other room. I have put in Italian-like seasoning. Let's see, what else? Garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper in here. And now what I'm going to do is just add some ketchup. So I'm going to do about 1.25 cups of ketchup in these as well. So I'm going to leave this like this, and then afterwards, it calls for 1/4 cup of water. I'm just going to fill this up with about 1/4 cup and shake it in just a second, because I don't like wasting that. But I'm going to open this other ketchup. Oh, I didn't put almond flour in there yet, did I? No, I didn't. Okay. I waited all that time on that business thing that I had to waited all that time, probably about a good half an hour, get somebody on the phone, and apparently I wasn't supposed to call them, I was supposed to call somebody else. And I know that many of you can feel me on this. It is so frustrating. So I decided I am not calling the other number right at this moment. I'm finishing up this to get at a good point that I can make a phone call. So and that is there. I'm going to fill this up and get a little spoon. Alrighty, sorry guys. I could have shut you off and turned you back on, and I didn't. Sorry about that. So I just have a little bit of water in here, shaken up to get all of that extra. I'm going to put half in here, half in here. Then I got a spoon, gonna scrape all the tidbits out. I'm excited. All my ground beef is done now in the other room, so I'm excited for that. Almost ready to get to that. I want to check the hamburgers in the freezer as well to see where they're at, so I can do another batch of those, and then those will go in the freezer. So we have that, and then I'm going to add 1 cup and 1/4 of almond flour. Don't do eggs yet. I didn't do eggs yet either, did I? No. Alright. Need to do 5 eggs in each. Better take them all out at once or I'm going to forget how many I'm doing in each one. I think I'll do chicken after this, then I can just get those out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish doing these, and I'll mix these up, and then I'll put a child on making meatballs, or an adult. I'm not quite sure who's going to be doing what. They were actually outside doing wood this morning, watched a movie, and then they went to go do pig food. So then some people will probably rotate helping me, and then they will rotate watching another movie. Today will be a movie day. It is a chilly day, and we're getting lots of stuff done. So some days it's okay, guys, to have a movie day. And today is one of those days. So I'm gonna mix both of these up. I'll get some trays out, line up some trays, and start making some meatballs. Okay, so here's the hamburgers. They are frozen enough to be able to bag up. So we are going to bag these up into bags of 8. Okay, so this is just how I'm gonna bag them up. I have 4 bags from that first batch, and then an extra 4 that are in another bag. So I'll go put those in the freezer, and those are all ready. Okay, so I am doing these really quick and easy. I am just taking jugs of these sugar-free, either dipping sauce or barbecue sauce, and all of these are 2 carbs or less, and I'm putting them in a bag, and then my daughter is going to put the chicken wings in it. So I'm just marking the bags now, looking at the jar. This is just going to be a quick and easy way that they're already seasoned. So I'm writing honey mustard, and then I'm going to dump it in, and then I'm going to give it to her, and she's going to put the wings in. So come over this side, sweetie. Let's clean that out of the way. And then we are going to start doing some of those meals. I got another pan of the hamburgers. I have 3 pans of the hamburgers into the freezer again. And then my daughter has 4 pans of the meatballs all cooking. Could someone grab me just a cup of water? Yep, and then we're gonna look at the next bottle. I'm gonna write that on there. I'm just gonna write clucking.
Why are you swimming in?
Put them all in. Thank you. So all I'm gonna do is just, for this here, I want to use it all out, so I'm just gonna take and put a little smidge of water in the bottom of this, and then cover the top, shake, 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 and then once she's all done with that, she can pour that in as well. Would you like a holder? Would that be easier for you? Yeah. It's okay. You can. I'll get somebody else to grab it for you. Can you grab one of the holders, the bag holders? You can keep putting them in there. You can use it for the next one even. These are out in the garage, so they may be semi-frozen. They're supposed to be left in the house, and we're not. I'm going to leave that upside down for a minute. Let's move on to the next one. Good job.
You want me to bring back the
Yep. There we go. Now we're just going to squeeze this. I'll do it here. And then if you want, you can like move the mustard all around the bag. And this one.
I think this one's
That one's broken. Yep, I see that. Do you want to move the mustard around that bag?
Sure.
Oh, wait. That's going to be hickory.
Right there anyway.
So all hands on deck here. They are doing meatballs. He has meatballs all mushed in there. That's another batch, and this is the first batch. She got one tray out so far, and she's putting another tray in while we my lovely assistant, is helping me with all of this chicken. Do you like helping?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just kind of reviewing what I have done, what I need to do, and what's going on right now. So meatballs, I have somebody working on that. They're kind of just going through the rotation. Some are out. We're going to need to bag those up. The meatloaves are completely done. So now I need to go, and the meat that has already been done, I am going to do 20 pounds all bagged up for a Big Mac salad, and then we still have to do chili, cheeseburger casserole, and tacos. So let's go do that. Okay, this is where we're at now. We have these 2 roasters are completely done, and these pans are all done. Remember, this back pan is going to go with the one in the kitchen as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put you guys down, and we are going to bag up. If I can do this. Wish I could balance you guys better. Bag up some of this meat. So we are hold on. I don't know if it's just my house, but we are always losing permanent markers. So this is my only permanent marker I can find. I wrote on 4 of these bags, Big Mac salad. I am actually going to weigh this out into 4 pounds. So I have my scale here all washed off from that raw meat for the hamburgers, and I'm going to be putting 4 pounds into each of these. I should move my coffee or else I might be having like some lovely flavored meat coffee. So we're just doing some of our favorites that we've found over the past little bit. This is all in ounces. Let's see. Grams, milliliters, pounds. There we go. Did I fit 4 pounds in a bag before?
I don't remember how much you put in a bag.
I think we might have done 3.
It was probably 3.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do them in 2-pound bags, and because I'm not quite sure if 4 pounds is going to fit in there. And then I'll be able to do 2-pound bags. There we go. Well, maybe it could. What do you think?
It probably could.
But then it'd be really fat and it wouldn't lay flat.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to doing 2-pound bags. Just for the efficiency of the freezer so it's not like bubbled. So then I'll write on here because I'm going to be needing 2. I'm going to write need 2 on here so that I'll know that I need 2 bags when we are doing a meal for ourselves. I think last time I did 3, but that's 3 pounds, but that's really only enough if my husband and my son are not home. We really would do better with 4 pounds of meat per meal. Some rooms are hot, some rooms are cold. All right. This is a little warmer one because I'm right next to it. So let's try that again. Oops, some of that paper. Oh my goodness. Now you have drama music behind you from the kids' cartoon to go along with my spill. And YouTube will probably like tell me I can't monetize because they have music in the background. It's really the kids are watching a movie because it is quiet time at our house. Some kids are outside. We need to move a pile. A pile of wood got put in a place where a tractor can't like get through, so they have to move that pile of wood in order to get the tractor through. So that is what people are working on. Well, we are doing this. There we go. So there's another 2 pounds. All right, I'm going to finish these up and I'll be back. Okay, so I am still bagging up that Big Mac salad, and my daughter's going to stand here with this. She has 4 cups of water in this meat and 2 cups of taco seasoning. And this is 10 pounds of meat. Okay guys, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. I tried to put a light on the situation for you, but I'm not sure if it will work or not. Tight spaces, dark house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this big thing full of chili. You'll notice some of the meat might still be slightly pink. I'm okay with that because I want all my flavors to cook in together as well. So this will be cooking probably for another hour or so in here, but it's done well enough for me to add some things. So I'm adding in some home canned salsa. Now this is just the meat right here. Nothing else added to it. So we make like a zucchini salsa. I was nervous about using this before because I wasn't quite sure as far as carbs go for my daughter, if she would eat it and not. I now feel comfortable with like the ingredients that are in it and the amount of carbs that she would get, how to count this. I didn't feel like that at first, so now I am feeling a lot more confident in that. I think I'm going to end up putting 6 in here, but I'll probably need to stir that in first. So I am going to grab some seasonings and a teaspoon measurer. Let's see. So I am going to grab and do, let's say, 6 teaspoons of cumin. Now, what I'm going to end up doing is I will taste this after it's been going for a little while to see if I need to add more things. This has 20 pounds of burger in it. And 6. Probably a little more than 6 because I kind of did scoopy ones. And then this is going to be maybe 2 tablespoons. And then trying not to tip the camera over as I am doing this. And then maybe 2 tablespoons of salt, maybe more. I do have some seasoning in my salsa already, so it makes it a lot easier. This chili powder, I'm going to do 4. I have little kids, so I'm going to do 4 and then I'm going to mix it, and that probably will be good. And then I'm just going to do a bit of a splash of Worcestershire sauce, maybe 4 tablespoons-ish. And then I'm going to mix this and we'll add probably more salsa. My daughter does not want to take a nap today. She fought it all day yesterday taking a nap. She wouldn't snuggle with anyone. She just was not in a good, happy mood yesterday afternoon. And she ended up, we were trying to snuggle her. She just was throwing herself around and ended up, she went to I said, well, let's go outside. We'll get your stuff on. She was going to get her stuff on. My daughter put her down on the couch in order to get like her jacket and stuff on. And she went and she fell asleep on the couch. And she slept for a good 2 hours. She is at that point now that she needs a nap, like right now. And she's fighting it. And people are snuggling her and loving on her, and she is not having it. Yes, I'm putting this roaster to its limit. Alright, I'm going to try and put 2 more in there. You can see all the veggies. I put a lot of zucchini in here. There is some carrots in here. There's tomatoes in here. It's not just a tomato base. It has lots of veggies. It actually has more zucchini, I believe, than anything else. Or sometimes I do the summer squash as well as the zucchini, so it has more of that in here than anything else. I actually had to unplug it so that I could plug in the light for you guys, and then I'm just gonna once I unplug the light, then I'll be able to plug it back in and let it just kind of marinate all these flavors together for a good while. Now when we eat this, we can have the chili, and then I'll also cook up a pot of beans, so if anyone wants beans, or I might cook up some potatoes if anyone wants potatoes. It just really depends. And then some people will just have this with cheese or whatever on top of that. So, looking good. Probably what I'm going to do is add, I think I'm going to add either some tomato powder or some tomato paste. It would probably be about 4 small things of the tomato paste, or maybe 4 tablespoons of tomato powder. And I'll be back when this has cooked a little bit longer. Okay, so we are now making cheeseburger casserole. She's going to dump those in. Like I just said, we weren't able to get exactly what I wanted with the fresh. So now you can do the next one. We're doing some fresh, some frozen, and then I had some riced cauliflower in my freezer, and I'm going to use that for the last one. So I will cut these, put them in. You can move to that one if you want to. Everyone's begging to be a helper today. We're going to fill all of these up with cauliflower. Wow, that's a lot. One more. Where's the last one? Okay guys, I'm not quite sure when my battery ran out, but we put cauliflower in the bottom of these pans. Some are frozen, some are fresh, but they all have some cauliflower. I'm going to add to this about a tablespoon of oil to each one. We have 10 here. Oops. And then it would depend if I would use 1 or 2 depending on what we were eating for that meal. So if we were going to eat it as just a full meal with not a lot of sides, then we would have 2 of these. And if we were going to have sides, then or a lot of sides or whatever, then we would just have 1. So we got all of those. What we're going to do is get a cup of cheese. Where did I just put the cheese? All right. So my hand is about a cup, so I'm going to do a cup of cheese in each of these. I'm going to break some of this up. I got the other one out of the freezer. Everything's so cold today. Probably have to dip into the other one, which we're going to need for the topping anyway. So this right here is actually riced cauliflower. Let me see if I can show you. Maybe I should show you inside of each one here. Is that better? Yeah, that might be better, guys. Alright, sorry about that. Trying to figure this out. I got a big old bag of cheese here from Sam's. We're gonna, it's frozen. I should have thought to take it out, but I didn't. And there we go. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I will add a quarter cup of heavy cream to each one. So I'm just gonna fill a whole cup, and then I'll splurge out about about quarter each one. Then I'm going to be mixing that around real quick in a minute. This is heavy cream. There. Then we'll just need these two here in the front. Okay. So, I'm just gonna do a little smoothie like that. Nothing fancy, nothing fancy. It will all cook together anyhow. It's my fancy utensil that I use all the time. So glad God gave it to me. I store so many things or make so many things with my hands. Alright, so that is the bottom layer. I'm going to bring in the ground beef and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh out 2 pounds and put 2 pounds in each of these things. After I put the 2 pounds in, oops, there we go. After I put the 2 pounds in, I'm going to have, would you mind doing this salt and pepper? Where's my thing? Yeah, if you can do 1, 2. Do you want to just do like a pinch of salt and a pinch? She's going to do a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper on each one. Just sprinkle it around on each one after I do it. Okay, so here is that big pot of taco meat and we're going to bag that up. So I have bags here that say the 2 pounds of taco meat. I have the scale here all ready to measure out the 2 pounds, and then I have these baggies here in order to bag them up. So let's do that. Tear this out so the bowl doesn't weigh in, and then I'm going to be measuring 2 pounds. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the baggie holders or not. Let's see if I can just... I need my dramatic princess music now. There we go, in case I spill it. Well, that will work better. I'm just going to move those out of the way and then I can stack there. So I'm going to fold these down to get the air out. And just lay it down like that, nice and flat. And we're going to do a bunch of those. There goes my bags. So I'm not quite sure how many I'm going to get with this because I was debating if I wanted to do half taco and half sloppy joes. And I am going to do half taco, half sloppy joes. So this is 5 pounds plus the extra that I had. And then the sloppy joes is just going to be 5 pounds, which is in front of me. And I will do that in a minute. No, not 5 pounds, just 10 pounds. Sorry about that. So then this would be like 12 pounds, not 7. Alright, I'm going to keep doing this and I'll be back when we do the sloppy joes. Okay, So we have 8 of these all together, and it really depends with taco meat if we would use, like if I was making a soup, I would just use 2 pounds of taco meat. So that's why I bag these into 2-pound portions. But if we were going to have a meal, then we would take 2 of those bags and eat those. So let's make the sloppy joe. Okay, so now we're going to make some sloppy joe. So I have the meat in here. Sorry, dark. I have the meat in there. Now I can't put you guys back down because you're stuck. There we go. Alrighty. So we are going to, she's holding my recipe for me. I am doing this times 10. So I am just going to do 10 teaspoons, which I could figure out math in my head, but I'm not. 1, 2, 3. This is salt. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we're gonna do, we'll do ketchup after. We're gonna do a teaspoon of garlic powder, so we need 10 teaspoons of garlic powder.
3 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon.
Alright, 3 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon. My daughter's already got that going on with her math. I appreciate it because I'm about done with math in my brain today. So then it would be half a teaspoon of onion powder. 5 teaspoons.
Or do a tablespoon and 2 teaspoons.
Okay, tablespoon and 2 teaspoons. This is why you teach your kids. Then they can remember it when you forget it. She probably learned it on her own. Alright, same for the chili powder. I think I'm only going to do a tablespoon. Did we do it with the recipe last time?
I think you usually do less because of the little kids.
Yeah, I usually do less. So I'm thinking that I'm going to do a tablespoon and forgo the 2 teaspoons. And then we're going to do yellow mustard, which would be, it's 1 teaspoon. 2 tablespoons and a teaspoon, right?
3 tablespoons.
Oh, 3 tablespoons and a teaspoon. 1, 2, 3, and a teaspoon. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. It's not good. It's one of the bestest things. Alright, I'm going to use this cloth and wipe this out. And then I'm going to use brown sugar like this. Here we go. And I need 10 of these. 20.
This says 2 tablespoons.
Alright, 2. What would that be? A cup?
16 is
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
20 tablespoons.
11, yeah, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Then what are we doing? Just ketchup, I think. And a little bit of water. So ketchup is going to be 1 cup, right? So we need 20 cups of ketchup.
10 cups of ketchup.
10 cups of ketchup. Yes, 10 cups of ketchup. This is a 2.5 cup measurer. Might need another. Can you go grab 2 more ketchups out of the garage? So what I'm doing is I didn't add the water so that I can put water in these so that I can get all the stuff out of it. Oops. Sorry guys. My daughter's standing in the corner. You look like you have a mug shot. Do you know what a mug shot is? It's like if you got like arrested and then they'd take a picture of you and people would be like, that's the person who did it. Alright. Do I have what?
A new spot for them.
They're on that brown shelf. Okay, so she is doing all these meatballs. She's been working on them all day. These are the meatloaves that we're going to throw in the oven in just a second. So these right here are the meatballs that we have. They're left open so that the air can come out of them, and then she'll close them out later so that the they don't get like sweaty. It's kind of weird. They get like weird if you like close them too quickly. So she has them all like that, and then there are more over there that she's just putting in the bag. We are going to work on bagging up the chili. Okay, we're just going to fill these bags with chili. I'm not really worrying about weight for this. I'm just going to fill them to about what we would use for a topping, and then it would be 2 bags if we were going to use it for a full meal. Okay guys, it is the end of the day. It is 3:30 and all the meals are put together, so I'm just going to share those with you. The only thing that I need to do is I need to pull out some of the hamburgers from the freezer and swap those out one last time, and then we'll be done with that. So let's see what we got here. We have 10 of these cheeseburger casseroles all lined up here, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of the chickens here. Now let's go in the other room. We ended up getting 8 of the chilies. Then we have 16 bags of the meatballs. Okay guys, we're working on cleanup, and I'm just going to tell you what we did real quick. So, are you guys making freezer meals before you get into the crazy Christmas season? Because I want to be ready for all those crazy days. Okay, so we ended up getting 3 sloppy joes, 8 taco, 8 chili, 10 cheeseburger casseroles, 14 bags of meatballs, 12 meatloafs, 7 chicken wings, and 8 Big Macs for Big Mac salad. So yay, that is super exciting. That's lots of meals in my freezer. They're going to be so yummy, and we can eat them up through January and December, so that will be good. Alright, I hope you have a blessed day. Tell me anything that you're making down in the comments below so we can all share those recipes and such together.